Hello folks, Happy New Year and welcome to another extremely special episode of Wheels of Mercury. I'm your host Wheels and this is the big one folks. This is the 5th annual Golden Wheel Award. For those of you not in the know, since January 2022, every January since then, I've been doing these year-end kind of award shows where I pick out the best, the worst, and the middest amongst other categories of the year in metal and non-metal, according to my own opinion, of course. I originally had another version of this video all filmed and ready, but there was one problem. The camera that I record my videos on kept getting overheated, and there were a lot of continuity errors in the original version of the video, so I scrapped it in favor of this one. I was also wearing a tie in the original version. Also, Eli Elitis was originally in the original version of the video. If you don't know who Eli Elitis is and you're new to this channel, he's the guy who sometimes barges in here and talks about all his sketchy Finnish and Ukrainian and Polish black metal bands that he likes. Well, he made a list of favorite albums. And you know what I'm gonna do with it? Going in the garbage. Exactly like his music taste. Now let's get ready for the 5th annual Golden Wheel Award. Starting with the worst album of the year, which unanimously goes to Machine Gun Kelly, also known as MGK, with his album Last Americana. Oh my goodness, I've never laughed so hard at an album before in 2025. It was just so bafflingly funny in the worst way possible. The intro made my freaking ears bleed with how loud it was. It had these really weird like the synths were really bad. And the rest of the album is all the cheesy like pop songs, and his voice is awful. He has like a 2-note vocal range. Up here in Canada where I live, he actually played at the Grey Cup halftime show. So for those of you outside of Canada, the Grey Cup is the championship game of the Gridiron Football League called the Canadian Football League, or the CFL. So MGK played at the halftime show, but I did not watch it because I did not want to subject myself to that crap. Like, oh my goodness. Let's just move on. Worst song of the year, Behemoth, the of God. I'm probably gonna censor myself saying that word, cause this is such a cringe song title, and it was the album name too. Oh my goodness. This was just so cringe that it scared me away from listening to the album. But the worst song of the year award goes to President with the song In the Name of the Father, which was the lead single off of the King of Terrors EP. This song is terrible. The auto-tune is so sloppily done. It's just awful. It's just an awful start to that EP. As I'm gonna explain later, it does get better from there. Most disappointing album of the year, Spelling, with her album Portrait of My Heart. This is not a bad album. It's actually a pretty good one. It's hard to follow up a masterpiece like The Turning Wheel from 2021, am I right? Another disappointing follow-up was The Last Dinner Party, with the second album from the Pyre. This just felt rushed. There's no other words I can say about it. Sevdaliza with her album HEROINA, an ill-guided attempt at going into the genre of reggaeton. Girl, you are from Iran and then moved to the Netherlands. You're not Puerto Rican, girl. Like, what are you doing? Sweetie Grace with their album Alienation. This really disappointed me, man. Like, I was so excited to see Adam Gonche back in Sweetie Grace, and then they auto-tuned the crap out of him and the other singer's voice so much that I couldn't tell who was who. Yeah, not a good album. But the most disappointing album of the year award goes to I See Stars with their album The Wheel. Oh my freaking goodness. We had to wait 9 years for this? This is awful. Devin Oliver, he's not even screaming on this. He's like doing these weird annoying shouts and it's really, really odd. This is just a disappointment from one of my all-time favorite electronica bands. Man, oh man. It hurts to see this band regress in quality like this. Like, it's just so disappointing. The Middest album of the year, Volumes, was their newest album, Mirror Touch, the only December release in this whole video. It's just whatever. It's just kind of like a B-grade spirit box. I know Volumes probably did that sound first, but like at this point it's just uninteresting, it's just bland. Next up is a black metal album that is on many people's best of year list, and I can understand why. Of course, this black metal release I'm talking about is none other than Blackbraid III, the third album from the American black metal solo project Blackbraid. The reason why I think this is mid or mediocre or middle of the road is that it borrows way too much from Bathory. There is even one song where he straight up like rips off A Fine Day to Die, which he covered on Blackbraid II. I do like the song God of Black Blood though, with the guitar solo in it. I think it's the only really truly compelling song on here in my honest opinion. But if you like this Blackbraid album, all the more power to you. I can understand why people love this band, and I used to like them a lot more too when they first came out with songs back in 2022 with the Blackbraid 1. I've got no beef with people that say that this is one of their favorite albums of the year. If you love this album, awesome. Keep on loving it. A great album cover though, I must say. Next up is President with the King of Terrors EP. I truly don't think this is as bad as some people are saying. After that horrendous opening song, In the Name of the Father, it starts to go up a little bit in quality. Not like completely up. Like it's not like it becomes like EP of the year or anything like that, but there are some decent songs in there. Like, I've grown to really like Fearless. I don't think it's like the best song in the world or anything, but I wouldn't mind putting it on like a pop metal playlist or a pop rock playlist. It would just be a good song to jam out to in the background, you know what I mean? Not too bad. And the other songs are just fine. The only thing I don't really like of the other like 3 or 4 songs is the Crazy Frog like sample at the beginning of the song Rage. That part is freaking annoying. The rest of that song is okay. I know I hated it back when it came out, but it's grown on me. Yeah, this isn't as bad as people are saying it is. If you want to check it out, check it out. It's not that bad, guys. But the winner for the Middest album of the year goes to Drogville with Cruel World of Dreams and Fears. This is the other really hyped black metal release of the year. I had to remind myself what this sounded like because the goofy cover is the only thing I remember about this album, really. Like, I had to actually go back and remind myself what it sounded like because it was so unmemorable. And I kind of want to address the whole AI controversy or kind of lack of controversy with this album because I don't think he's using AI for the music. I really don't. Because people were saying that it was being used pseudo AI without any freaking proof. How are you gonna say that and not provide any evidence? It's completely bonkers. So I don't think this is AI. Like, I really don't think the music is AI. Maybe the lyrics are a bit ChatGPT-ish, but like definitely not the music, in my honest opinion. I hope this pick for the Middest album of the year doesn't age terribly if he comes out and says that it's AI. For now, this wins the Middest album of the year. Yeah, just a forgettable kind of black metal record with a goofy meme cover. Surprise of the Year category. The world is a beautiful place and I am no longer afraid to die with their album Dreams of Being Dust. Now I saw this band open up for Leprous in 2024 in Toronto at the Opera House. I think they played some of these songs live because I noticed they had like a sort of a metalcore tinge about them. And I was like, huh, whoa, they're going metal? And then this album comes out and yeah, it's confirmed they're going a little bit metalcore. Because these guys are usually known for their Midwest emo stuff. It's quite a shock for me to see them go metalcore like this. Even bringing in metalcore luminaries like a guy from Counterparts, Brendan Murphy. Give it a chance if you're into like metalcore and stuff. But the surprise of the year goes to Ahmed with Allo Baba Ele Carambule. What a fun album this is. The album has 3 songs. The first song is 11 minutes and 11 seconds. The second song is 22 minutes and 22 seconds. And the third song is 33 minutes and 33 seconds. I know it feels like I'm taking crazy pills when describing this album, but trust me, it's such a fun time. It's like Mr. Bungle if they were French, or like Weird Al Yankovic if he was born in France and got into like progressive death metal. Yeah, this is what that sounds like. If you're not allergic to fun in your metal music, I implore you guys to check this out because it's the most fun I've had with a metal album in 2025. Best Doom Metal Album of the Year. Ultimate, The Thinking Isle. This is the rare funeral doom metal album that I really like because it keeps it at a rather concise 42 minutes, which if you're at all familiar with this micro subgenre of doom metal, they like to stretch things out for like an hour. Like, perfect example, Bell Witch Mirror Reaper. But going back to this album, this is such a good funeral doom album. The drummer is way more involved with his drum kit than drummers usually are in that genre. Usually drummers are just like boom, boom, like the really slow beat they use. But this drummer is doing like marching band beats and stuff like that. It's really cool. So if you are a funeral doom fan, even if you're not, I implore you to check this Ultimate album out. Next up, Weeping Swords with the Convalescent Agony. This is kind of a left field death doom metal band. They're kind of like avant-garde death doom. They kind of have these weird like kind of atonalities with their guitar playing. They have a high screamer and a low screamer. They've got a pretty cool sound. Paradise Lost with Ascension. This band has been going on for 30 years as part of the Peaceville 3 alongside My Dying Bride and Anathema. This was my first time hearing a Paradise Lost album in its entirety. What a great introduction to the band for me. There's a lot of variety within the album, a lot of touchy moments, and a lot of gothic grandeur within the record as well. I thought that this album was a perfect introduction for me to get into Paradise Lost. And it might be a perfect introduction to you to get into Paradise Lost too, if you want to get into the band. A great album from these gothic doom legends from the UK. But the best doom metal album of the year goes to Archaic from Switzerland with their album Juitis. This band comprised of members of the Jungle to Malayan. I probably said that wrong. That collective has Ungfell, Dagmar, and other Swiss black and death metal band within its ranks. So there's some great musicians that are working on this project. Archaic has a style that is themed around the Bronze Age of human prehistory. So there's a lot of like ritual chanting and ritual drumming and stuff like that. A lot of great riffs and a lot of great just moments on this album, and a lot of catchy moments too. If you love your atmospheric blackened death doom like Zompantly or The Ruins of Behemoth, check this album out. It's really cool. Okay, the best thrash metal album of the year. Thrash actually had kind of a strong year in 2025. I was surprised. Species with Changeling. This is the Polish band's second album, and they play a mixture of like progressive metal and like technical thrash metal. They are amazing players, amazing bass work, very jazzy, and amazing guitar work too. Amazing drumming too, but that comes with the territory of technical thrash metal as well. So if you like stuff like Watchtower and Voivod and like even a little bit of Vector in there, you'll be right at home with it. Speaking of bands that sound like Vector, Cryptosis with Celestial Death. This is if you took Vector's sound and injected it with a dose of like Dissection or Immortal. A lot of black metal influence on this album, which is why I love it so much. And I wish I would have latched onto it way back in March instead of discovering it in October like I actually did. Coroner was the comeback album Dissonance Theory. This is an amazing comeback 32 years in the making from these Swiss technical thrash metal legends, and they come back with a vengeance on this record. I'm gonna say that this might not be a thrash album per se, but Coroner is only in this category because of her legacy as a thrash metal act. But great album nonetheless. The song I Am the Law is such a great song. But the best thrash metal album of the year is a death thrash record, in fact, from the band Figen or Thicken, or however you say it, with their album Helgen Combat. These guys are a trio from Germany. They play like death thrash, like think early Morbid Angel, think some other bands too, like early death. If you like albums like Seven Churches, you will like this band. They've got some awesome, catchy, screamed melodies, some awesome growled melodies as well, some great riffs and some great bass performance too. I love the way the album opens up. Such a good opening, man. If you like death thrash, check this out. It's an awesome listen. Well, look at that. Tying into the best death metal album of the year. Amnio, Psalms of Immortality. This is a Floridian melodic death metal band that is just starting out. They play a style of melodic death metal that is more focused on the death metal side than the melodic side. They play in the style of a band from Japan that I know called Intestine Baoism, who is my favorite death metal band ever at this time of recording. They even have one of the members of Intestine Baoism on one of their songs. If you love Intestine Baoism's sound and you want more like it, yeah, Amnio is an awesome album to sate your thirst of Intestine Baoism-ish melodic death metal. Patristic with their album Catachepsis. This is an underrated Italian dissonant-ish death metal band. There is some great drumming on this. Some great drum production on this. I freaking love the drum sound on this thing. It is huge and massive. I really like the atmosphere on this thing too. So if you missed this album last year, give it a whirl. It's an awesome record. Now, the next album, I'm censoring the album art for this because it's really graphic. The band name I might censor myself saying because it's kind of profane a little bit. Grave with their album Malignant Worthlessness. The main reason I love this record, the riffs. The riffs are amazing. they're just polarizing, man. And the vocals have this like weird like upper and lower register combined. They're like double tracked. So he sounds a bit like Daffy Duck. So if you like Recapitulation and Symphonies of Sickness era Carcass combined with some of the riffs of like Cannibal Corpse and stuff like that, check this out. It's freaking amazing. Imperial Triumphant with Gold Star. This album is not Imperial Triumphant's best, but it is still an Imperial Triumphant album, which means it's still freaking amazing. They created the most accessible album yet. So much so that if I were to introduce somebody to Imperial Triumphant, I would say, yeah, start with this. They're not a band for everybody. If you are into jazz and you want to hear what it would sound like if an avant-garde black and death metal band were inspired by jazz, check out Imperial Triumphant. Just do it. But the best death metal album of the year, in my honest opinion, Dormant Ordeal with Tooth and Nail. This Polish duo creates amazing death metal with some amazing moments. The songwriting is just amazing. The Rage Into the Light song gets stuck in my head sometimes. It's really, really good. There are some really, really good death metal songs on this record, and this is probably their best album. I've been following them since the one with the lions and the Kings with the blindfold on. They leveled up with this record, and some amazing, amazing performances by especially the session drummer Chasen Westmoreland, who also plays with the deathcore band Brand of Sacrifice. If you used to like Behemoth, but think they're too cringe now, check out this band for your replacement. It's awesome. The best deathcore album of the year, because yes, deathcore is a part of metal. Coma Witch with The End of Forgiveness. Some awesome MySpace revival deathcore with the movie and TV samples, and it's just a fun, good time. And in my opinion, it's done better than Cycle Frame, in my honest opinion. That might be a hot take, but it's a hot take I believe in. So yeah, if you like Exercise Silence, I had to censor the word because YouTube gets all, oh, you said that word. Anyways, if you like them and Early Drop for a Cowboy and like other bands like that, yeah, check this out. Signs of the Swarm, To Rid Myself of Truth. Just a great modern deathcore record with a lot of polish and a lot of production, but it's just a good time. It sounds like a Michael Bay movie if it were a deathcore record. So if you like that, this'll be for you. I had a great time with it last year. Despised Icon with Shadowwork. I only got into this album in December. One listen proved to me that this is the second best deathcore album of the year in my honest opinion. They just go for the throat with some pummeling old school hardcore death metal fusion, and it's freaking rad. And if you like your old school deathcore like the Acacia Strain and stuff like that, you probably already knew they'd come out if you're into that stuff. If you haven't checked this new Despised Icon out, check it out. It's awesome. But the best deathcore album of the year goes to the band that I think of first before all other bands when I think of the genre named deathcore. Whitechapel with their album Hymns in Dissonance. What an album. I know I criticized the first song when it came out in 2024 for being fan service, but really, who cares when it's done this well? Oh my goodness, it's so good. Like, even the solos are good. And this is deathcore that you can even play to some of the most staunch death metal elitists, and they'll be like, wow, okay, that's pretty decent. You probably already heard this if you're into deathcore like I am. But if you aren't into deathcore and you want an album to get into deathcore nowadays, yeah, I think this is a pretty good place to start. The best metalcore album of the year. Another genre which I think should deserve a seat in the metal pantheon of subgenres, in my honest opinion. Via Nova with Hit It. This band reminds me of Issues. As a giant fan of Issues, the metalcore band Issues, I have not heard an album that is as creative and daring as those first two Issues albums as I did when I heard the Fire Nova record. This band is going places. Check them out if you like Issues. And if you're also a fan of Periphery, you should check these guys out too. They're really creative. And as I just said, they're gonna go places. Remember this name, Fire Nova, because they've really been blowing up in the metalcore scene right now. Time for some old school metalcore now, because Dead Guy came back last year with the comeback album Near Death Travel Services, and it's awesome. Love to see these old guys come back and show the hardcore scene what they're made of. And they still got it, man. If you were into metallic hardcore back in the day in the 90s, I was too young for that back then, but like, if you're older than me and you remember this band and you want to check out this album, yeah, go do it. Also, if you want a fix of what metalcore used to sound like before all the clean vocals and all the electronic stuff took over, yeah, also check out this Dead Guy comeback album. It's awesome. Landmarks, the darkest place I've ever been. This is an awesome album from this French band, which combines like nu metal and metalcore together. This band relies on the strength of the vocalist. He is a vocal chameleon, man. He can scream high, he can scream low, he can put some insane emotion into his voice. He almost reminds me of Chester Bennington from Linkin Park, who I dearly, dearly miss. So, yeah, if you love Linkin Park, Beartooth, early Wage War, like first album Wage War, check this Landmarks band out. They are awesome. Greyhaven with Keep It Quiet, one of my most played albums of the back half of 2025. Oh my goodness. The hooks on this thing are amazing. They just get stuck in your head. This band should be bigger than they already are. Like, they are just amazing at crafting these really incredible hooks that just get stuck in your head. Also, if you want another band that sounds like Better Lovers crossed with like Sailsin or a band like that, check out Greyhaven's new album from last year. It's awesome. But the winner of the best metalcore album of the year at the Golden Wheel Awards goes to Bless the Fall with Gallows. Another comeback album, but this time from these Warped Tour veterans. This kind of sound is what I miss in metalcore these days. This is a great album as well, and it has some great hooks and some great references to past Bless the Fall albums, especially the song YSAB, which stands for something I'm not gonna say because it's rather crude and profane and kind of funny in my honest opinion. They're just having fun and they're just creating some banger tunes while doing this. Welcome back, Bless the Fall. You made me feel young again, boys. Awesome to have you guys back. Best heavy metal album of the year, or traditional heavy metal, as it's now called, Serpent Rider with the Ichor of Chimera. The vocals took time for me to get used to at first, but once they latch onto you, it's a pretty good album. If you like stuff like Lordy and Guard or Warlord, this is a good album to check out. And shout out to Brandon Corsair for doing good on this album as far as guitar riffs goes. He's a pretty good rhythm guitarist, man. Big shout out to him for bringing out the riff. Mean Mistreater with Do or Die. This is for all the Motorhead fans and all of the fans of Girl School as well, who were friends with Motorhead as well. If you like those two bands, you'll like Mean Mistreater. I like that the main vocalist, she has a bit of a punk snarl to her voice too. A fun, rockin' good time from this Mean Mistreater band from out of Texas. Dorman Gate with their second album, Echoes of Ancient Tales. This Portuguese band is also really good. They ironed out all the roughness that they had on the previous album, and they came out with their best songwriting to date. It's epic heavy metal in the vein of like Manila Road or Sarah from Banger TV's band Smolder. If you like those type of rough and tumble blue collar epic heavy metal bands like Manila Road, yeah, this is a must listen. Ambush with Eva. Another dimension. Interestingly enough, the only band with a male singer on this list. This band is from Sweden, and they play like a mixture of like Judas Priest and a little bit of like accent dub. This is the closest I'll get to ever enjoying European power metal again, because I've fallen out of love with that genre since about 5 years ago. But regardless, this Ambush album is a very good heavy metal album. Yeah, if you like melodic heavy metal, it's a good time. Check it out. But the best heavy metal album of the year is Tower, with their album Let There Be Dark, featuring the vocal talents of Sarah Beth Linden, the best singer of the new wave of traditional heavy metal scene right now. She is freaking incredible. She has such a good voice. The songs are all so well crafted and so well done. Just a great traditional heavy metal album that if you want that 80s sort of traditional heavy metal sound, this is a must listen. Go listen to Tower, folks. They're an awesome band. Best black metal album of the year. HEROINA with Tavaslan. This, in my opinion, is HEROINA's quote-unquote weakest album. It's not as good as Unoi Sormen Soka, which came out in 2020. But it is still one of the best black metal albums of the year for 2025. Because it is still a HEROINA album. The riffs still go hard, and the folky melodies still go hard too. And the chanting Finnish lyrics as well. So if you're looking for a Finnish black metal band and you discover that all the ones are pretty sketchy, this is one of the only ones that is not sketchy at all. Check out HEROINA for an awesome dose of Finnish pagan black metal. You won't regret it. Varuvia, or Varuva, or however. Apologies for my Portuguese. Their album Mar da Deriva came out in 2025, and it's a weird mix of like Brazilian folk music and like atmospheric black metal together. It features one Kyle Lemos, who is also in the project Katara. So it sort of like does this whole like cosmic atmospheric black metal with like touches of Brazilian folk music, and it's very, very interesting. It's only 36 minutes long, so it's worth a listen. So if you like bands like Male Cognitum and you want to hear it done a wildly different way, check out this Varuva album. It's really cool. Next up, Sepultura. Psalms Unto Caesar, this debut from a Tennessee symphonic black metal band. It's just a very catchy symphonic black metal album. If you like symphonic black metal, just your basic symphonic black metal, but done well, check this out. It's really catchy and it's really good. Fear with Amidst the Ruins. This is the best Fear album in 11 years. The woodwind instruments on this record are astounding, and they have some beautiful moments throughout the record. I really like the one folk song on the record, and it proves that this project doesn't have to be really a black metal project all the time to be beautiful. If you like Scottish folk music and Celtic folk music, and you want to see it imbued with the stylings of atmospheric black metal, this wouldn't be a bad place to start and say or Fear's discography. Aura is still my favorite because of guest drummer Austin Lund's playing on it, but this has slowly and surely crept up on me to become a second favorite of mine of his discography. So definitely check this new Theo album out, or Theo album out, however you say it. Flute aus Nord with Ethereal Horizons. This French black metal project has been going for 30 years, and is still as solid as ever. It's a serial, no pun intended. But the winner of the Best Black Metal Album of the Year award goes to The Weig einer Freiheit with Innern. This is an awesome German language post/atmospheric black metal record, and if you like stuff like Death Heaven and stuff like Downfall of Gaia, you'll feel right at home with it. The drumming is incredible on this record as well. It's up there with the Swiss band Aura as some of the best black metal drumming I've heard. This is just some incredible post-black metal, and honestly, you should give it a listen. Like, it's an incredible record. The best short release of the year, like demos, EPs, split, etc. The Lord Weird Slaufeg, Traveler's Supplement 1, The Ephemeral Glade. Slaufeg go back to the world of the 1977 board game Traveler, which was previously explored on the fan favorite album Traveler back in 2003. They listened to the fans on this one. This is pure fan service, but it's also done really well. Mike Scalzi's riff writing is on top form here, and this is one of the best traditional heavy metal EPs I've heard this year. Runeblade with Unsheathed. This band is part of the War Guild collective that exists in the Pacific Northwest of the United States. This is a thrashy banger of a raw black metal demo, and it's really high quality riffs on this thing. Even one track that kinda sounds like Agalok on there too. If you like raw black metal, you should check this out. Fluisteras, Die Chroniken van het verdwenen Kastille 3 Grundsvoet. Did I say that right? I don't know. I'm not Dutch. This is a great EP from probably my favorite Dutch metal band. The way they use trumpet in their atmospheric black metal sound is nothing short of magical. Check this out if you like stuff like Drook, if you like stuff like Wolves in the Throne Room. You should check this out. It's awesome. Scaler with their self-titled demo. If you don't know this band, they are a band from, of all places, Denton, Texas. This is quite an experimental death metal demo that is quite challenging but quite awesome. If you like experimental metal bands like Kralis, Santa Facta, Deathbell Omega, some experimental death metal bands like Gorgot, stuff like that, yeah, check this out. It's awesome. Enterprise Thirst, Descent into Madness. This is a great deathcore EP with a lot of great breakdowns and stuff, and it's only 25 minutes long. A lot of people I found forgot about this EP because it came all the way back in February 2025. People forgot about it, but I didn't. I thought it was really well done and possibly their best release to date. But the winner of the best short release of the year category goes to Suffering Hour with their new EP Impelling Rebirth. I love to see bands like this come back after a member has beat cancer, which in this case for Suffering Hour was their drummer. But he plays like it's his last day on earth because he is just going at 100 miles, 100 kilometers per hour on that drum kit. It is amazing how fast he plays on this thing. They just infuse like a grindcore ferocity into their sort of gothic blackened death metal sound that they've got going on here. It's just awesome. It just kicks ass, man. It's so good. An awesome triumph for Suffering Hour. I'm glad to have these guys back. What an awesome EP. Best non-metal album of the year. Death's side of metal just sort of passed me by a lot this year. There were a few albums that really latched onto me in the spring, and then in the summer, nothing. Insert tumbleweeds across the desert image. Until the fall, when some releases hooked onto me then. Sangre de Mordago, which was one of the releases that hooked onto me in October, with their album O Zarin. This is a Spanish neo-folk band with a lot of great melodies and a lot of cool instrumentation. If you're looking for a cool folk record, check this out. Steve Van Til, Alone in a World of Wounds. This was one of the albums that latched onto me back in the spring of last year. This is a great album to put onto at night. It has a very nocturnal feel. And Steve Van Til, formerly of Neurosis, his voice on here actually reminds me of Jerome Rutter of the neo-folk project Rome. If you're a former Rome fan and you missed when Rome was good, like back in 2007 to 2011, this will fill that void in your heart. And the next album is Thrice with Horizon/West. Wheels from the Past is gonna tell you more about this album. The spiritual successor to the 2021 album Horizon/East, and it's just as good, if not better. Geese was their album Getting Killed. Now originally this album was gonna be like one of the many ones that were hyped up and just passed me by. But I got into it a couple months after it released, and it's actually a really, really good album. So many good songs on it. I was a sailor, now I'm a boat. Maruja, Pain to Power. I might be getting a little bit sick of the whole windmill scene sound, you know, Black Country New Road, Black Midi, etc. But Maruja's debut album is still a great album nonetheless. I kind of compare it to like Rage Against the Machine if they weren't like artsy. It's a great album. But the best non-metal album of the year goes to Rosalia with her album Looks. Oh my freaking goodness. This is an amazing triumph for such a mainstream artist like Rosalia. 13 different languages, an entire orchestra being used for this album. It's incredible, folks. An artistic triumph for the ages. The only complaint and criticism I can give, the only tiny little criticism I can give, is in the song Berghain, featuring Bjork and Yves Tumor. When Yves comes in at the end of the song and does this weird like, I'll F you to love me, I'll F you to love me. It's just like, it throws me off. It throws me out of the record for like a few seconds. Kinda just jarring. Maybe it's meant to be like that, but it just didn't work for me. It's just kinda crass and profane and just a bizarre decision all around. But that little blip does not disqualify this album from being my favorite non-metal album of the year. This is a freaking triumph for Rosalia, and if you haven't checked this album out, go give it a chance. It is amazing. Best metal album of the year, Cradle of Filth with the Screaming of the Valkyrie. I know there's been a ton of controversy around Danny Filth and all of the other ex-members suing him. I know he's a terrible person to work with, but that doesn't mean this album is bad by any means. This album is freaking excellent. It's a shame that the controversy overtook this album. A lot of great songs on it, like White Hellebore and To Live Deliciously. A lot of great fun songs on this album. I understand if you don't want to listen to it because of Danny Filth being a terrible person. I get it. Gates of Dawn was their album 3. This is a kind of a psychedelic blackened rock album. Think of the Grateful Dead if they had a black metal singer. That may sound goofy until you listen to it and you're like, oh, that's interesting. Like it has like jam rock passages and stuff like that. Shout out to Dirtier Tilaxilau. Dirtier Talexu. Think I got it right. It's a reference from Frank Herbert's novel Dune. But shout out to him for getting me onto this band. He has a great taste in music. Agriculture with the spiritual sound, an ecstatic black metal album that pulls from so many influences from inside and outside metal. Mathcore, metalcore, post-rock, shoegaze. It goes all over the place. Yet it feels cohesive. Like it feels like an album. At first you might think, oh, whoa, where's it going? But after like 3 or 4 listens, you'll be like, okay, I see now. Kardashev was Alienation, a beautiful death gaze / progressive deathcore album from this band from Arizona. Method was The Spin, one of the best metal albums I've heard all year from my favorite Italian metal band. They are just so good, and their guitarist is just incredible. But the best metal album of the year goes to Death Heaven with Lonely People with Power. And I've got it right here. Absolutely incredible record from one of my all-time favorite bands. After this album, I am certain Death Heaven is one of my all-time favorite bands. It is just an emotional, devastating, epic listen. I never thought they could top the heights of New Bermuda 10 years on, but they freaking did it. Like, the band that got me into black metal freaking did it. Like, this is an excellent album. I know I'm joining the crowd of people who really praised it this year, but this is one of my favorite bands we're talking about, man. Like, amazing album from Death Heaven. Just a once-in-a-generation album that have come out in 2025. Amazing work. Best non-metal song of the year. Rosalia was Divinite. A great song with a weird beat that just goes like boom, 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 boom. It reminds me of the fully electronic artist I know called Patricia Taxon. Particularly from her album, and I'll show it up here, that has the dog riding the bicycle. Forget what it's named. I think it's named like Spokes or something like that. Had to move the camera here because it kept overheating and interrupting this video. But anyway, Miley Cyrus was Say Something Beautiful part in that song that goes a I never would have imagined she would have done something like that in her song, but she just did, and it freaking blew my mind when I heard it. Great song. Geese was the song Trinidad, the opening track off of Getting Killed. The sort of it's just so catchy. And that part where he screams, "To the bottom of my car!" Just such a catchy, cool sounding song. La Dispute with Environmental Catastrophe Film. This is an 8-minute, heart-wrenching story of family trauma and environmental catastrophe and other stuff, and it's just heart-wrenching song. If you're into post-hardcore, you should definitely check out this song ASAP because it's amazing. But the best non-metal song of the year goes to Maruja with Fiorsi. Apologies for my Gaelic. This is a great song. I love the saxophone in it. It's really cool. And the mantra of, "It's the differences that make us beautiful." It's such a good mantra, especially in this day and age. Yeah, it's the best track on the entire Maruja album. So, if you haven't heard it, give it a listen. Best metal song of the year. Kardashev with Reunion. Such a beautiful, flowing metal song. So just take cues from the best parts of Opeth and the best parts of like Whitechapel and fuses them together with a lot of dreamy atmosphere a la Death Heaven. Mark's voice, it's just so good in this song. Greyhaven with Burn a Miracle. Oh my goodness. What a song this was too. Like, holy moly. The breakdown in it, oh my goodness. It is amazing. Testament was For the Love of Pain, the song that opens up the newest album, Parabellum. And this has a lot of black metal influences, hence why I love it. It's good to see Eric Peterson, the guitarist from Testament, bring in some influences from his band Dragonlord, which is a black metal band, into Testament, and it works awesome. Cryptosis was in between reality. Such a great stop-start riff in this song. It's just a freaking banger. You have to listen to it to hear it for yourself. It's awesome. Mesa with the dress. This could have been my metal song of the year if not for a certain other band. We'll get to it. But the guitar solo by Alberto Piccolo, the guitarist of Mesa, is just my favorite part on the entire record. It is just so good. And the lounge part in the middle of this 8-minute song with the trumpet, oh my goodness. And Sarah Beyonce's vocals are so good on this song, man. Like, she sounds amazing. But the best metal song of the year is Death Heaven with their song Amethyst. This was the new song from Lonely People with Power that stood out to me when they performed it live. It is such a great flow to it from beginning, middle, and end that I would say this is a 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10 song. It is beautiful. It is wonderful. It is one of Death Heaven's best songs. And I could say that for a lot of songs on that album, but specifically this one, in my honest opinion. It's amazing. It's absolutely epic. And as I said before, Death Heaven has made an album for the ages. And this song is one of their best songs on that album. So, amazing, amazing song from Death Heaven. Just incredible work from them. And that's a wrap for the 5th annual Golden Wheel Awards. Do you want to subscribe to my channel? Give me a like, ring the bell for more notifications, and give me some hype points too. Apparently in the mobile version of YouTube, in the first 7 days of a video coming out now, you can actually put hype points on the video to boost it up on the algorithm. So please do that for me, alright? Signing off before this camera gets too overheated again. Happy New Year, guys. Rock on, guys, and I will see you in the next video.